right, we'll start today with the winner of the Oxford Regional, the Tennessee Tech Golden Eagles. The Eagles are coached by Matt Bragga. We're also joined by student athletes Travis Moths, Chase Chambers, and David Garza. The Golden Eagles media relations contact is Mike Laban. Coach, if you could begin by giving us a brief opening statement, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, we're excited to be here. You know, it's funny, last Monday, I guess before we played what ended up being a doubleheader to win the championship at Oxford against Ole Miss, I was thinking about Austin, Texas, actually, and how I really thought, like, I bet there's a whole lot of fans in Austin, Texas rooting for us today so they can host a super regional. So I was thinking about this venue as I guess it was last Monday. So, but our young men are a great group, very resilient group, mature, experienced, incredible internal player leadership. Love these guys. We're excited for the challenge this week.
All right, we'll open it up for questions, please.
I was looking for it. No, it never came. So it never. Even at the hotel when I got here, I thought maybe there'd be a big basket. No, it never came.
Coach, so far this season you've done with the rotation of Travis, Marcus, and Alex. But then last week, it was a great start. Have you considered giving him a start this week?
Yeah, we're gonna. Marcus Evie will actually throw game 1 tomorrow. He's been our game 2 starter pretty much all year. Travis Moss will throw game 2, and we're going to continue to use Ethan Roberts, our quote-unquote closer, in the same role we've used him all year, which is out of the pen, competitive moment, bring him in. If the opportunity were to arise and he was ready and hadn't thrown too much, yeah, maybe game 3. But right now, Alex Hersey's our game 3 guy if necessary.
Yeah, I think if we stay patient and stick to our plans, which is be aggressive, but at the same time be selective, I think we put ourselves in a really good spot. If we just come out and have good plans this weekend, it's going to be a good weekend for us. No. We've seen some top arms. I mean, we've seen top arms these past 2 years. They don't scare us. We know that if we stick to our plans and play the baseball that we're capable, we can beat anybody.
Chase, what did you know you guys had an offense?
I've known from day one. You come out in the fall and you see we have a great pitching staff, and the way that our hitters had dealt with our pitching staff in the fall was pretty incredible. And really, we put in some work, and we've grown throughout the beginning, when we stepped on campus this year, and we've made a bunch of strides to get better, and it shows. I mean, 1 through 9, we hit the ball well, and we're have great approaches. So.
You guys go to the plate thinking home run? Is that just kind of ingrained in you now, or is it?
It's the result of the plan. Because if we're patient and get a good pitch, we put ourselves in a good spot to hit home runs with as much talent as we have. So.
David, I think almost won 3 games.
I don't know. I think we, like Chase said, we try to work good plans, 1 through 9, and I think as a result we do hit home runs. And if we're not hitting home runs, we're still striving to hit the ball hard. So.
Travis, what have you heard about pitching at this fall? And now that you've got some time to dig into the Texas lineup a little bit, what's your feel for what you're going to see this weekend?
I mean, I haven't really dug into their lineup or anything like that. I'll probably watch a couple games. That's what I did with Ole Miss too. But I mean, I have the same attitude. I just go out and attack guys, and you try to get ahead, put yourself in a good spot to where they can't hit you. So.
Did you guys prove anything to yourselves winning low-scoring games?
No, not really. We've known all year that we can pitch and play defense when we need to, and we proved it there. But we've done it a few times this year, and it was no surprise that our guys stepped up and did what they're supposed to.
Oh, they're incredible. I mean, this is a good team. I mean, obviously it's the Big 12 champion, one of the best players in the country. Obviously, they're going to pitch and defend. The tradition here is probably unmatched by any team in college baseball, maybe USC. But they make plays and don't beat themselves. And I think when you do that, you always have a chance to win baseball games. And they do a great job with that. Well coached, fundamentally sound. We're excited for the challenge. It might be a better question for them. Typically not. Most of our guys, I mean, were any of you guys recruited by Power Fives?
Not seriously, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little bit by Garza, but not overly seriously, and that's a pretty common theme for us at Tennessee Tech, and we're able to find young men that meet what we need, and that's blue collar, hard work, get after it, play with a chip on your shoulder, have some talent, and go do your job.
I'm actually from the West Coast, so from Washington State, so a few schools in that area, Pac-12 schools. Oh, it was just from the moment I stepped onto campus, met the coaches. Obviously, they were up about offensive numbers, but I thought I could bring a defensive presence and just the overall culture that Tennessee Tech was about, and just fit me who I was as a person.
What's the biggest difficulty in building this
field? Something that I think gets missed a little bit, and that's a great question, very fair question, but we've been really good for a long time, and one of my assistant coaches says it best. He's like, this isn't, a lot of people say, wow, great season. This is a program. This is a program that since 2007, out of the 9 Division I schools in the state of Tennessee, we have the second most wins, second best winning percentage. We've won 6 Ohio Valley Conferences titles in the last 10 years. This is a program that's been around a long time, but what happens in a conference like ours, and I love our conference is extremely underrated, guys. But in a conference like ours, you better win that conference championship, that tournament at the end, because we've typically only gotten one team into the big dance, so to say, until this year. And then we were able to break through as an at-large team, and that's fantastic. But what I will say about this team, because let's not kid ourselves, this is a special year and a special season. As good as some of the ones have been in the past, what these guys have accomplished is phenomenal, and I can't wait to watch them go out and play this weekend.
It's not fun. I do it all fall. I didn't really throw much this fall, but I mean, this is my 4th year here, and it's not been fun any year in the fall, especially with how our field plays sometimes. It's frustrating.
I stay behind that L screen. I try to throw it as hard as I can, too, but I stay behind that L screen. Absolutely, they can hit me. I think one thing about our lineup, guys, that you love is, Chase just said it. It's just a good lineup. It's hard to meander your way through that lineup. You can't really pitch around a lot of guys.
Coach, the way that baseball plays a little bit more pitcher friendly, does that change your approach at all offensively?
No, we'll be the same team. I think something great about this club is, to win championships and be 52-10, you can't do it with just one part of the game. You can't just be this, because everyone looks at us fairly and says, wow, this is an offensive juggernaut. Well, we have won some 3-2 and 2-1 games, and I think the series that we didn't hit a home run all weekend, we swept that series. So these guys, the great thing about them is they know how to win in a lot of different ways, and whether it's pitching, defense, or from an offensive standpoint.
Not really. It's something that Coach Bragga has ingrained in us from day one. I mean, as soon as I stepped on campus, we started working on our approach, and I don't know if it's an MLB approach, but I can tell you it's a great approach, and it seems to show that we're doing things the right way and approaching our bats with confidence. So. I'd have to say Trevor Putzig. He has a flair for the dramatic, for sure. He's had some incredible swing. I mean, like he did last weekend. I mean, he put a great swing on that ball, and put us up in a big spot, and may not have had a big bat flip there, but he's had a few through the season, and they're fun to watch for sure. Yeah, we have we call it the home run belt. It's just one of our freshman pitchers actually bought it, and he's just dragged it around with us for, I guess it's been a month now.
Yeah.
We've had 3 different belts. We've kind of stepped it up. Each time we get a new belt, it gets nicer. So I don't know if we can get much nicer than this belt unless you're gonna go solid silver or put some diamonds or something on it. But no, it's fun. We have a good time, and our pitchers really like to have a good time in the dugout. So. If you ever seen WWE, the big, I'm telling you, it's probably a foot wide, a foot tall. It's a huge belt. It swallows me up, and but it's, I don't know, it's just a WWE belt. So.
Hey Matt, when you see a Coastal win a title, Fresno is a 4. Is that stuff that your kids can see and believe that it's not just about getting to the Super, maybe getting to Omaha, but finishing the whole thing?
Yeah, I definitely think that's something neat to be able to see, and people that have broke through the barrier, so to say, of the Power Five. I think it's great. Our guys, they set their own goals. We have a vision for the program, obviously, but they set their own goals, and they set high goals, and they believe what they can accomplish. And to be honest with you, I can't speak for these guys, but I honestly don't know that it would matter what Coastal had done or what Kent State did a few years ago, or Stony Brook, or Fresno State as a 4 seed. I think it's good to see. It's kind of like the 4-minute mile. Once it got broke again and again and again. So it's kind of nice that foundation's been laid. But I don't know that it would matter to these guys. I think they're just, this is their own group and own team. So, but great question.
A lot of people look at your schedule and see the 28-game winning streak. That's one thing that obviously stands out. What are some of the notable moments in that winning streak for people who may not be familiar with the team?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'll say this. To win 28 games in a row, as you know, that's difficult to do. And these guys just showed up every day and played some really, really good baseball, obviously. With that being said, there were some defining moments. We had a couple walk-off wins against Jacksonville State that were instrumental in allowing that winning streak to continue on. And it was funny. It was one of those things where, pressure is what you make it. It's only pressure if you believe there's pressure. And our guys are like, there's no pressure. But I will say this, as it got to 27, 28, towards that end of that streak, you couldn't help but, I think the national record's 34. And I can't even lie to you. I'm like, we want 34. We're going for 35. But our guys did a phenomenal job of just staying very steady, playing as good as they could. And then it just so happened that they continued to win.
Travis, you talked about just a lot of you guys not getting recruited by Power 5 schools. You get to go beat an Ole Miss and then now get to come play a school like Texas. Is that extra motivation? And I guess how do you guys carry that into your?
Yeah, it feels good when you beat a team like that. We beat UT, we beat Vanderbilt, now Ole Miss. Even those other teams in the regional were really good too. You just got to play. You can't look at a team, if it's the best team in the country or the worst team in the country, you just got to play your own game and beat the game.
Travis, you obviously made the guarantee before the regional that y'all are going to win this whole thing. What gives you that confidence? What is it about this group that you really do believe that y'all can do that?
We all love each other. We know we can do it. We have what it takes to make it to Omaha and win it.
I guess I don't know what goes on in their clubhouse, but I think they should respect us for sure, because I think we've shown that we deserve it. So.
Man, how would you describe
The guy's unbelievable. Stroshine was co-freshman of the year 2 years ago with the young man at Clemson, Seth Beer, and has just continued to do that. And amazing player, amazing hitter, amazing approach, amazing power. Unbelievable. And then the great thing about it is you got a guy like this hitting right behind him. So you can't pitch around. You got to go after him because you got guys like these right behind him.
as good as he is? How were you able to lure him?
Again, overlooked. He's a young man that got overlooked, and one of our assistant coaches invited him to camp, told me, he said, hey, Coach Bragga, this young man's pretty good. He comes to camp and starts rocking the ball, and I'm like, let's go, let's get this guy. So, but Stroh's good. And another thing about him and a lot of our guys, just very steady. Whether they're going good or bad, they stay pretty steady. Never been drafted. Unbelievable how that hasn't happened. This is you guys will see him this weekend. I mean, it's the ultimate baseball body. I mean, quite honestly, like you like look at the legs and the butt and the body, and you're like, wow, that is a great baseball player. And then to do what he's done, the guy has an arm from the outfield. He's had an injury this year, so that's what hurt him not get drafted this year. We had to move him to DH, but he's a phenomenal outfielder, and he has an arm. It's how he got hurt. We pitched him, and because he can go up to 94, 95 on the mound, and so that's what happened. But we're looking at a young man that can hit like that can play great outfield and throw 94, 95 off the mound. I don't know how the draft necessarily works with stuff like that, but he slipped through the cracks and was a great player.
We have one final question.
Matt, I mean, the confidence level, you've been there 15 years. Imagine the confidence level off the charts.
And I think I say that with again, I'm blessed. This is a great group, and we've had a lot of great groups over the years, though. So I'm not taking away anything from any other group. They've been amazing, but these guys are also very, very humble, and I think that's what's helped them even throughout that 28-game win streak and throughout a season. Just you got to stay humble, because the minute you get that haughty spirit is the minute you get knocked down. And these guys are humble, but yet very, very confident and play the game the right way. It's a fun team.
Do you remember your stats when you were playing here?
We were 2 in the queue when I was at Kentucky, so I don't want to remember those. I let those go a long time ago. So I must not have, because I don't remember it. I remember this. Brooks Kieschnick, that dude hit one. Is your hitters it's changed, mate? I don't know. Okay, yeah. He went over where your old hitter's eye used to be. And so now that I remember. I remember Brooks Kieschnick, yeah.
All right, everybody, for those interested, Tennessee Tech's practice will be open from 2:45 to 4:15 for B-roll and photos. The next press conference will be with Texas at 2:45. Coach, guys, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Thank you.